Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps, and today I created a birthday card using the Lovely Layers window from the Cozy Christmas release. Now I'm going to start with my background. I have a tan piece of colored paper here, and I am using the Rustic Brick Wall 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to run that through, and I love this brick background. On my last week's card here on Honeybee Stamps, I used this with that cute Hoosier cabinet, and now I'm going to use it for this window. Now here are these die cut pieces. I'm going to start gluing them together. And I do want to say there is a holiday add-on for this, like a Christmas one, and that one is really, really cute. But you know, now that the season is coming to an end, I thought I'll just do the regular window, and it is so darling, you guys. I love this. So I'm using some colored cardstocks for my paper. I'm not going to ink blend anything like that. I am going to do some distressing. I will be using some Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo just to add a little more age to this. Now, my inspiration for this was like a small European little town, maybe southern Italy or southern France, just something like that. Not that I've been, but my husband and I like to watch on YouTube. They have these people that do walking tours of beautiful cities in other countries, and we watch them all the time, and it is so gorgeous. And some of these people that do these pro walking tours, they really do a good job. So this just kind of reminds me of some of the houses and buildings that we've seen on those. So I've got these cute curtains here. That is patterned paper from Honeybee Stamps. Oh, you know what? Marvelous Moments. Sorry, I thought I didn't write it down. So I'm going to use that soft pink. It has some little flowers on it, just really nice and easy. Then there's that back piece. I'm going to just distress that a little bit, but you can make that white back piece any color that you want. I am going to add some foam adhesive on the edge of the window because I do want this popped up a little bit further away from that arched white piece that's going to be our background in the window. So I'm just using like a 1mm foam adhesive, nothing crazy. This, I do have dimension on here, but this is pretty low profile on this one. I do add a lot of extra dimension on our little patio wrought iron gate here that I'm going to glue together. So I'm adhering the gate to that little base piece, which it does glue to that. I don't know if I'm probably gluing it a little bit higher up on the gate part than it's supposed to be, but I did that because I wanted to add some foam adhesive. I'm actually doing 2 layers of foam adhesive on that gate. I only show one here, but I'm doing 2 because I want that to really pop out. Now I want to add some white to this brick just to kind of soften that tan color and give it some variation in color. So I'm using Honeybee Stamps Brilliant White Pigment ink. And then I'm going to put that aside to dry. I'm going to add some of that white to my window frame and my shutters. Now I will say at this point I thought this was all I was going to do, and then I'm like, no, I really want to distress some of this stuff. I still would have done the white because I like it, but I am also going to bring in that Vintage Photo. So I'm just going to go a little bit over the bricks, just lightly rubbing so the brick texture will catch some of this ink. So it has like this variation in color, and then I smush some on my work surface and I'm splattering that. I just added a little bit of water, and now we've got some variation in color there. Again, to the edges of my window frame here, I'm going to splatter this as well. So this is stuff I should have done with that window frame beforehand, but I'll show you how I worked around having to mask off the curtains because I did not want those to have a bunch of splatter on them. And then here are the beautiful shutters, adding some of that Vintage Photo. I really wanted some of this stuff to almost look rusty in a way, like maybe these were metal. And the same thing with that little patio iron. I'm going to do that as well. Smushing it on, adding some water and a paintbrush, and just splattering it, not over the whole shutter, but just in some of the areas. So I'm just going to use my hands to mask off my curtains because I was feeling kind of lazy, but it works, right? So I'm just splattering the edges of that lighter colored frame. Then I am using Distress Spray in Picket Fence. I put it on my work surface so I could control more of that spray. I didn't want to find mist. I just wanted some splatter in some of the areas. I think I said control the spray. I want to be able to control the splatter. That's what I meant. I think I meant to say. And a little bit on that frame. Then I'm just going to come back in with that vintage photo and a blender brush and add just a little bit to the edges. And I think that that turned out so lovely. I love how that looks. Now I'm going to add vintage photo to that wrought iron. I guess a patio gate is what I'm going to call it. Just a little bit there. I want it to really look rusty and old. I think that's some of the charm in some of those European cities, those little old cities. It's just so beautiful with like the cobblestone and the brick or rock buildings. Like, it's just so stunning to me. So again, that was my inspiration. Let's splatter this the way I did the rest of it. Here is the greenery that's going to go on like the patio and around the windows. I just die cut from green cardstock. I've got 2 colors of pink and then white flowers, and I am going to splatter and ink this up the same. I just don't show it on the video, but I'm going to do it the same way that I did everything else, just to give it a little something extra so it's not so bright and clean and everything else is kind of distressed and grungy. So super easy to add these flowers. I'm going to add a few more. And then let's get this glued together. I distressed that centerpiece just a little bit. It was a little too white for everything else that's going on. I'm adding some liquid glue to the foam adhesive as well. So that way I'm sure that I will be sure that it can stay there. I am so sorry. I can't even talk today, you guys. Then I'm going to add the same 1 millimeter foam adhesive to my shutters. And I love these shutters so much. They're so cute to me. Oh, I just think this is so darling. And then I'm going to place those down. I did forget to put liquid glue on that one, but I am going to put it on this one. Just on those little like hinge areas. And look at how cute this is already. This is turning out so cute. And then we've got our gate there. I am going to add another piece of foam adhesive because I do want one of my windows open, and it just wasn't working right. So I'm going to open up this window, and you know what would be really cute is to put some acetate in between and glue 2 of those windows together, and then you'd have actual like what would look like glass. That would be a really cute idea. I'm using my bone folder just to kind of press that down, and don't you think that gate is so cute? Okay, then a little bit of foam adhesive and liquid glue, and this is going to go over that one shutter, but I don't want this one to go over the other shutter, otherwise you're just not going to see it, and it's way too cute. So I'm going to trim that down and tuck it behind the shutter. And then now I think now we've got all this beautiful greenery and all the pretty flowers, and then a little bit of foam adhesive behind that. And then I can glue the flowers to the patio area. And isn't that darling? And then I'm going to add just some white dots to the centers of the colored flowers to give them a little bit more detail so they're not just so flat. And then in my Misty, I'm stamping my sentiment that just says happy birthday from the mini messages Sassy birthdays, even though I didn't pick a sassy message, but just a simple birthday stamped with black ink. And then let's take a look at this up close. I love the dimension. It feels like it's active, like the window's open and something's going on. I just think this turned out so, so cute. And I absolutely love it. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you feel inspired by this project, and I hope that you enjoyed this video.